give me a call when you're done. Annoying. Don't text while you're driving. It's against the law. In every state except our private island. And just to make it really complicated, text while you're driving, well, you got a 10-pound moving object in your lap. Makes for very safe travel. Boom! Love it here. So I moved to Miami with Ashley because a year ago we were living in two separate sides of the country. I was in California and Michigan, and she was in Atlanta. And we decided if we were going to take our relationship serious, we should probably live on the same side of the country. So I moved, I rented my place in Huntington Beach. She rented her place in Atlanta. I kept my place in Michigan, and we got a place down here in Miami. And we've been here since January of 2010. We picked Miami because we've been here a couple times. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of new experiences. It matches the climate that we're interested in. I'd already lived in San Diego for 5 years, so Miami was a clear winner. Plus, all of Ashley's family lives in Alabama, so she needed to be close, closer to them, and San Diego's very far away. So it's been a great 10 months, man. If you've never been to Miami, you need to spend at least a week here having some fun and checking out the water and the skyline, and making your way up and down the coast. Key Largo, you've got the Keys, Fort Lauderdale, you got Naples, not too far from here. So strongly recommend a great vacation to South Florida. Coming from a very blue-collar, middle-class family, in watching television and seeing what glamorous lifestyles a pro athlete lives, or a musician, or an actor, I knew at a very young age I wanted to be rich one day. I just had no clue how, and I had no vehicle for that. So it was amazing when I was introduced to network marketing. I had no skill set, no contacts. I had nothing to offer the people that were working with me in terms of, my dad, the first thing he said was, "Oh, these people just want to make money off you." And I'm like, well, good luck, because I'm not really good at this. What they did is they offered me a platform to begin dreaming, right? They said, okay, what do you want in this lifetime? What are the things that you want to have? Where are the places that you want to go? What are your dreams? And at 18, I began, creating these dreams and writing them down, and just slowly checking them off over the last 13 years. And the further you go, the further you can see. And, we've gone pretty far, and now I can see even farther. And to answer the question, the goals just get bigger, the dreams just get bigger, the things that we want to accomplish just become greater. And I know that all of them are possible, because if a human being has done it, it can be done. They have 2 legs, 2 arms, a brain, and we have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a brain. So it's not a question of the human potential, it's a question of where you're spending your time, right? The biggest differentiator between somebody who's rich and somebody who's middle class is where they spend their 24 hours in a day. I mean, it should drive you out of your mind. Like, you should be up at night thinking, how the heck is someone rich and someone not rich when they have the same amount of time in a day? And the answer is how they spend that time. What do you do with that time? Do you watch TV? Do you hang out and just chill all the time? Do you find hot red Ferraris? See, this is some of my dreams right here. This is 2 cars away. My next car is a Bentley, but this is the car app. That red Ferrari right there with the Miami Heat logo. That's the next one after that. Anyway, sorry about that. A little distraction, but a much worthwhile one. Where you spend your time in a day is the differentiator from the rich and the poor. Period. The great thing about you as a human being and where you're at in your life is you have exercised this thing called choice, and everything that you have in your life right now is a collection of the choices you made. And it would be very irresponsible to say no, it's a collection of choices that other people made. What that means is you've given up all your freedom, and you've turned your life over to other people. Well, it's my boss's fault, it's my kid's fault, it's my uncle's fault, it's my dad's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my wife's fault, it's my neighbor's fault, it's the president's fault. It's nobody's fault. You are given willpower. You're given the opportunity to choose what you want. People complain about their job every day. You know what my response to them is? So don't go anymore. You don't hate your job that much? Stop going. Well, I can't. Sure you can. What do you mean you can't? You can do whatever the heck you want. You have willpower. You can do whatever the heck you want. So it's if you understand that you have the freedom of choice, then it becomes a process of building your self-esteem or confidence level or belief in self that you can succeed at this, that, or the other thing. I don't know. For you, maybe you should be open up the greatest coffee shop in the world. I have no idea what your thing is, but you got to have the self-belief to venture away from the monotony and give it a shot. I happen to believe that this industry of network marketing is the best opportunity for the average person to succeed, and that our company offers the best company within that industry. Now, I'm clearly biased, but there's not many industries where you can enter into it with negative money in the bank, no skills, no contacts, and no cash, and start a business and succeed at it just through sheer willpower. So, do you have willpower? Do you have desire? Do you have the heart and passion to make something happen? If you do, get in this industry. And if you don't, in the words of one of my good friends, Kyle Passetti, guy makes $1 million a year in our industry. He says, and if you don't, stay broke. Hey, don't complain about it. Just stay broke. One of the number one keys to success I can give anybody is personal growth, personal development. I don't care what you call it. If you hate that, those words can be cheesy. It doesn't matter to me what you call it. Bottom line is you must be growing yourself. You must be continually getting better. You must be refining your skills. You must be refining your way you think, refining your belief systems, and that is a 100% reflection of what you're reading, what you're listening to, what events you're attending. In my book for young people, my second chapter is called The University of Entrepreneurship. I said that one of the key factors of me becoming very successful and being a millionaire by 25 was I went to the University of Entrepreneurship. Now, this isn't a real school, but it will offer you an education nonetheless. I read every book I could find. I went to every seminar I could go to. I listened to every CD. So while everyone else had Friday night was out partying in college, I was reading the books. While everyone else was listening to whatever on their CD player, I was listening to John C. Maxwell on leadership and Tony Robbins about harnessing personal power, and Nightingale Conant, and I was listening to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's probably my favorite of all time, and not Jim Rome, like the Rome is Burning athlete, sportscaster guy. Jim Rohn. He is my personal favorite. Napoleon Hill is the godfather of personal development, personal growth, Think and Grow Rich. So, these are the things and sacrifices that I made very early on so that I could be so much further ahead of my peer group and forget my peer group, people that were twice my age that were still never reading those books and getting that information and filling themselves up with it. The people said things like, when I was in college, oh, these are the best years of your life. And I was thinking, yeah, these are the best years of your life if you plan on being broke the rest of your life. These are the best years of your life if you plan on getting a job that you hate. And you know, people say to me, oh, you know, you're missing out. Oh, you're missing out. You know, we're having so much fun. And I'm like, I'm not missing out on anything. I mean, I'm gonna be having fun the rest of my life, because I'm gonna create a lifestyle in my early 20s that most people will never achieve in their entire life. And I will then take those sacrifices in my first 5 to 7 years, age 18 to 25, and convert that into wealth, so that I can have fun the rest of my life from 25 to whenever. So, hey, I was willing to give up those 4, 5, 6, 7 years. In terms of specific, you know, individuals that I recommend to you, Napoleon Hill on the mindset of becoming successful, John Wooden and John C. Maxwell on the topic of leadership, Jim Collins on the topic of creating a great company, Jim Rohn on the topic of becoming better and in each areas of your life, Tony Robbins in terms of using science of the body and brain to figure out how to tap into energy levels that you don't know exist and power that you don't know exists, you know, within you, and so on and so forth. Usually people say, Nick, what book should I read? My response back to them is, what are you interested in growing in right now? Because I've literally read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books on leadership, personal growth, personal development, skill set, you name it. So it's too generic of a question to say what book should I read. So it's like, what book should I read on what? The topic of what? You give me a topic, I'll give you a book to read. You know, one of my personal favorite things to do right now, people say, well, what is your focus right now? Is I read a lot of biographies and autobiographies on past world leaders, current world leaders, or anyone that's changed or impacted the world. And you know, the reason why is these are human beings. They were people. They were born. They were, you know, they put their underwear on, and they still do, one leg at a time, just like everyone else does. They're not superhuman people. So to read about Nelson Mandela, to read about Martin Luther King, to read about John Wooden, to read about Richard Branson. Right now I'm reading Andre Agassi's autobiography. Just reading about great people is one of the best way to build belief in yourself that you can do it. You know, a lot of people, I think, read these books because they're in awe of these individuals, which I am, but I read these books because I want to become these individuals, which is very different. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.